Well, I think, a lot of times when you talk about fighters, like Charles Oliveira, the term that I always like to throw out there is danger factor. Charles Oliveira is one of those guys that has a super high danger factor in that he can catch you in any type of submission from top, from bottom, at about any given moment. And he has become a danger in the striking department as well. The knock on Charles in the past has always been, his mental durability. And I think, for one, that needs to, I mean, that just, it can't be part of the conversation anymore. There's too much evidence, video evidence that I could point to that shows you that whatever may or may not have ever existed in that column just needs to be crossed off because that's not a
Mhm.
factor for him anymore. However, the physical durability, right? Like Charles Oliveira, we saw him almost get put out in his fight with Michael Chandler. We could be having a completely different conversation right now. We're seconds away from having a very different conversation right now. So that that's a tough thing coming into a fight against a guy like Dustin Poirier, who has proved time and time again that not only does he have a ridiculously high level skill set in every facet of MMA, he also has the durability. So I think I'm not prepared to call this one.
Mhm.
Luckily, I don't have to call this one James Lynch.
Of course, yeah, it's all good.
It's just it's tricky. Charles Oliveira has those danger factors in any given facet of this game, but Dustin Poirier overall has fought the better competition. He's been in the wars. He's survived the wars. He thrives in wars. And I'm not sure that is one thing that you can say has necessarily been proven yet about Charles Oliveira.
It's a great fight, and something you touched on there was the fact that Poirier decided to fight McGregor and get a bigger payday. I mean, who wouldn't want to fight Conor McGregor and have that notoriety? And I think that's also part of the reason why he is a favorite in this fight as well, is because of who he beat in Conor McGregor, a guy that has created such a legacy for himself. But on that note, there's some school of thought that this might be one of Poirier's last fights. Do you get that sense as well that with him and his family and his foundation that maybe he's looking a bit ahead here and trying to think of the financial side of things after fighting, or do you think we will see a lot of Dustin Poirier if should he win or lose on December 11th?
I think it depends a little bit on the result of this fight, and there's no knock on him either way, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I think we can all safely say that even if Dustin Poirier were to lose to Charles Oliveira and step away from the sport, what he has accomplished in what has long been one of the deepest, if not the deepest division in the history of the UFC, for how long he has been doing it, the ups and the downs, the things that he has pulled himself back from. I mean, he's Hall of Fame material even without having won the belt.
Yep.
Now, that being said, if he goes on to win the belt, I personally think he's going to want to stick around and defend his castle for a while. Either way, though, Dustin Poirier has achieved. To me, he's achieved what, in some sense, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It's not fair for me in my position to say it's more important than the belt. But I think you get to a certain point, and it is about legacy. We throw that term around all the time, right? We all want to build
Mhm.
a legacy. Dustin Poirier is one of the few guys who's honestly done that. Like it's hard to find a fan who doesn't speak highly of his skills inside the octagon, of who he is as a family man, and then all of the charitable work that he does, the ways that he gives back to his community. To me, he's like the poster child of, you want to have a successful career, belt or no belt, right? Like at the end of the day, it matters, yes, but like this is life. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like so much more beyond MMA and beyond the UFC. Dustin Poirier has done it all, and he's done it all beautifully, beautifully well. And that to me is like, that's the cake. That's what we're all after. He's done it.
Let's kick it off, Jack, cross to the beat, beating you MMA, heat is the main course of the feast. Lynch on sports, the force, he's got his ears to the streets. Uppercutting with knowledge, shaking the brain with breakdowns of the game with that original flow. Head kicks with the pros, picks at the fights or anything in the mix.